Welcome into episode number 116 of The Voice Behind the Voice. I'm Sean Aronson, the TV and radio broadcaster for the St. Paul Saints, an independent minor league baseball team in the Twin Cities. This week's episode is different. It's special to me, maybe a little bit special to you, but I do these over the course of the baseball season every once in a while for a couple of different reasons. Number one, usually if I have a guest in the booth that joins me that I think people will glean some good information from, or was an interesting conversation, or just is someone famous. Last year I had Mike Golick Sr. and Mike Golick Jr. in the booth, and we turned that into an episode. I've had Goose Gossage we turned into an episode. So while this is the voice behind the voice, and I, for the most part, have a hard, fast rule of sitting down with play-by-play broadcasters. I don't do color analysts, all play-by-play broadcasters. Every once in a while, I take you in a different direction. And there are very few times in my life, in the 18 years I've been a broadcaster, where I've had a guest with me in the booth that I was more giddy than the one that I sat down with this past homestand, or I guess now 10 days ago, 12 days ago. But Yeardley Smith, and if you don't know the name and if it doesn't jump out at you immediately, she's okay with that, believe it or not. But Yeardley Smith is the voice of Lisa Simpson. And I can't think of anybody out there that has not seen at least an episode, if not a season or 5 or 25 seasons, however long it's been on now. Is it 20 seasons, 21, 22 seasons, whatever it's been, that has not seen some form of a Simpsons episode. I think I've seen every single episode. Maybe I've missed one or two, I don't know, but every single episode. So when I found out that Yeardley Smith, again, the voice of Lisa Simpson, was going to be at our ballpark, and we get to the reason why she's at our ballpark at the end of this interview, I jumped at the opportunity. She could not have been a sweeter, kinder, nicer person. And at the end of the interview, and it's about 2.5 innings long, after she's off the headset, she looks at me and she says, "Are you married?" And I said, "No, I'm not." And she said, "I can't believe that you're not married." She said, "You're doing so many different things up here," and guests up in the booth are always surprised with how many different things you juggle while interviewing them. She said, "You did so much research. You're such a nice guy. I can't believe that nobody has snapped you up." And again, I don't want to say Yeardley Smith said this to me. It was Lisa Simpson telling me that I should be married. And I feel bad for saying that, because I'm sure Yeardley gets that from time to time, and I even joke about that at the beginning of the interview. Like, it's Yeardley Smith, the voice of Lisa Simpson, right? That's what you're known for. That's who you are. That's what you grow up. It's not Yeardley Smith the person. It's Yeardley Smith the voice of. But it was kind of funny and crazy and surreal for someone that you've grown up listening to as this voice pay you such a high compliment. And really, I've said this about all the guests, but she was the sweetest person. And the best part in this, we were live on the broadcast, and she drops a curse word. My producer back at the station is Evan Giddings, who is my broadcast assistant for this year, along with JW, but Evan's my full-time guy. And it was the first time that he was really kind of alone in the studio by himself. And he even sent me a message right after, and he's like, "I don't think there's a dump button here that I could have pressed, and I don't know." But so it got on air. Like, she cursed on air during a broadcast. I am not sure if we were getting fined, or if the FCC or anyone called and said, "Hey, you can't do that." But yeah, Lisa Simpson cursed. It was great. It was a good time. I think you'll enjoy this. Look, we don't spend 2.5 innings talking about just the Simpsons. I wasn't going to do that to her, but we talk about her life and her family and things like that, some different things, and why she was here in St. Paul as well. It truly is. Again, one of the other reasons why I need to do some of these episodes is it's tough to get interviews during the baseball season. You got to remember, all of these interviews are live, and the Twins have to be in town for me able to get, the visiting team, and then the visiting team has to say, okay, yeah, we're good doing it. Sometimes that doesn't always work out, or we have to go to a road city where there's a major league team or another sports team that I can reach out to a broadcaster there. So it's hard. I try to fill the funnel, if you will, as much as I can before the season starts. I've gone about halfway through those interviews, so these sort of help to extend in hopes that we can not play a repeat episode. So I probably have about 5 or so episodes in the can, which gets you through 5 weeks or so. So that's why this one is important. But I enjoy doing this. I hope you listen to it. I hope you'll enjoy it. She does break into a little Lisa Simpson voice once or twice during the interview, and you'll hear her laugh a few times, and you'll hear that Lisa Simpson sort of giggle. And she gets into the game as well. I mean, she's become a St. Paul Saints fan. She cheers while on the broadcast, which not many people, if ever, do. If you have not subscribed to the podcast, you can do so on iTunes or wherever you get your podcast. Again, be sure to rate the podcast. Social media, you can follow us on Twitter @TheVoiceBTV, Facebook, facebook.com/TheVoiceBTV, and you can always email me, thevoicebtv@gmail.com. All right, let's get to it. Special episode number 116. It is Yeardley Smith, the voice of Lisa Simpson. JW, roll the open.
So when people say to you at a very young age, oh my God, if you can do anything else other than be an actor, do that because it will wreck you. Of course you A, think that will never happen to me, and B, you think, what are you talking about? And nobody ever articulates it for you. And so for me it was, oh, I get it. It'll make you care about shit that doesn't matter. Stuff. Sorry.
That's all right. We'll go to the top of the 4th inning. 1-0. Yeardley will join us for the next half inning, and we'll talk Lisa Simpson. We go to the 4th. 1-0. Saints. You're tuned in to Saints Baseball on the Saints Broadcast Network.